Welcome to Map Your Mind. Travel through the world with your brain. Today, we journey to an island where emerald peaks kiss the clouds, and ancient spirits still dance in the sea breeze. A land where volcanic roots reach into the past, and the very soil tells stories of pain, pride, and poetry. Welcome to Saint Lucia. Saint Lucia is more than just a Caribbean paradise. It's a living heartbeat, a symphony of nature, history, and culture. This is the kind of place where every mountain has a memory, and every shoreline hums with resilience. Long before the age of sails and sugar, this island was sacred. The Arawak peoples were the first to settle here. Centuries before Europe even imagined the New World. They lived in harmony with the lush forest, the rivers, the skies. They called it Iwanala, land of the iguanas. Then came the Kalinago, or island Caribs, fierce defenders of their territory. They weren't just warriors. They were protectors of the land, of the sacred balance, and they fought to keep it that way. But the winds of colonization blew hard. Europe had its eyes on the Caribbean, its sugar, its spice, its strategic power. And Saint Lucia, she became a battlefield of empires. From the 1600s to the early 1800s, France and Britain fought over this island a staggering 14 times. 14 times. Saint Lucia didn't just change hands, she was tossed like a treasure between giants, each eager to claim her. That's why she's called the Helen of the West Indies. Named after Helen of Troy, the woman who launched 1,000 ships. But this Helen didn't need saving. She needed to be left alone. Both empires brought their own brands of conquest. The French built plantations, the British built laws, and both brought slavery. Men and women ripped from Africa were forced to cut cane under the blistering sun. But even in chains, they carried something precious. Their language, their rhythm, their stories, their strength. The abolition of slavery in 1834 marked the end of a chapter, but not the end of struggle. Freed, but not free. Plantation economies still ruled. Opportunities were few, but the spirit of Saint Lucia was never broken. It just adapted, and it sang. The people of Saint Lucia wove together threads from Africa, Europe, and the Caribbean into something new. Creole culture was born rich, vibrant, and proudly defiant. Patois rang through villages. Drums beat at twilight. Children learned tales by firelight. Songs passed down from generation to generation became a form of survival and celebration. By the early 20th century, change was stirring. Colonial rules still lingered, but the people were no longer silent. Saint Lucians began demanding their rights, their dignity, their destiny. And on February 22, 1979, that dream was realized. Saint Lucia became an independent nation, no longer a pawn, now a voice. Today, the island is a jewel in the Caribbean, not because of tourism brochures, but because of what it's endured. The Pitons rise like guardians from the sea, silent witnesses to everything. Castries hums with life, color, and culture. In every village, the smell of saltfish and green fig mingles with morning air. Carnival parades burst with energy, and steel pan orchestras play stories the world still doesn't fully understand. Saint Lucia gave the world to Nobel laureates Sir Arthur Lewis for economics, and Sir Derek Walcott for literature. That's not just talent, that's testament. Testament to what blooms when a people reclaim their roots, their power, their narrative. Fun fact, Saint Lucia is the only country named after a woman, Saint Lucia of Syracuse. And yet, it is the women of Saint Lucia today, mothers, poets, farmers, teachers, who truly embody her fire. So, no, Saint Lucia is not just a beach. She is memory. She is fire. She is survival turned into song. She is the soul of the Caribbean. Stick around, there's a whole world to uncover, right here on Map Your Mind. Where to next?